Today is March 5th, 2016. Joining us on the porch are Cam Caruso and Melanie Cutillo.
The best place for family. What are you waiting for? Where friendships run deeper. Come join us on the porch. So glad you're on the porch.
Hey kids, you made it another week to another exciting episode of On the Porch Radio Hour. And as always, you've missed a lot over the last 7 days or so. So let me catch you up. I was just kind of floating around town the other day, feeling pretty good on my leg too. You know, I was feeling good off the crutches and whatnot. And I'd had an interesting day, so I decided that I would do the old fly on the wall thing, and I went in to a little tavern and kind of hung out in the corner and watched people, as they cooked my food and, served people drinks and whatnot. And I saw on a little sign, they had this little cardboard, kind of sign that was painted with that blackboard paint. And it was, I don't know, it was probably like 8.5 by 11, so it wasn't very big, and it was kind of hanging in a weird spot. But it was announcing an open mic that they were hosting that night. So I decided I was going to stick around and enjoy the open mic. And so I kind of hung out, and I had a few hours before the open mic started, and there were some things I could do, but I decided just to hang out there and people watch for a while, which is one of my favorite things. And as it happens in a tavern when you're watching people and trying to keep yourself entertained until the big event, I had several drinks. I had a couple Dr. Peppers, and the caffeine was getting to me and whatnot. And so anyway, one thing led to another, and I eventually found myself up on stage, and I was singing. And there was a woman that was there that's actually here in our audience this evening, and we started talking about one of our favorite movies, and we were talking about A League of Their Own, which is, if you haven't seen A League of Their Own, you have to check it out. And there's this one character named Marla Hooch, and she's like the big home run hitter, but she's not all that pleasant to look at, I guess. And so, when they take pictures of her, she's like a mile away, and she's just a little speck up against the back wall of the stadium, and they're like taking a picture of her from home plate. So anyway, in one of those scenes, she's singing at a bar. They go to a bar and she's singing, and there's a gentleman that she's found herself attracted to, and we were talking about how that was one of our favorite scenes. And so I got up and I decided I was going to dedicate the song that I was singing to this young woman, and I decided I was going to name her Nelson, and so as the song was ending, I did the Marla Hooch thing, and they were like, "Okay, your song's over," and I was like, "No, I can't go. I'm singing to Nelson, ain't I, baby?" And she was like, "Yeah," and then we went out and we hit the town, and we were really, half a sheet to the wind, and we were really enjoying ourselves, and I hit a patch of ice and went down. So when I got up this morning, I was a little sore, so I'm back hosting from a chair today, which is really awesome. I'm really going to have to adopt my nickname from Jim Schaefer. I'm just going to have to be the Ice King. That's all there is to it. Like, me and Ice are really, really good buddies. It wants me around all the time. It wants to be touching me, and I don't like it. So anyway, I've invited that young woman into the audience of the show, and I'll be telling a story to Nelson this evening. And she brought a friend of hers, and we're going to talk about this new event, this new program, this new thing that they're doing, which is really exciting. And we're going to listen to a little bit of Cam Caruso as well, which is super exciting. It's nice to have him back on the show. I'm really pumped about some of the stuff that I heard before the show. And, we'll be talking to him later, too. But until then, Cam Caruso, you are on the porch.
know what you do. You don't know what you're doing to me. Your beauty fills up the room with a sense of ecstasy. Your lips, your voice, and all your curves, the way you move to the beat, it stimulates all my nerves. But I don't know if I can handle the heat, and my body freezes up in place. I'm speechless and I'm lost in time, and it's crazy that you're unaware, and that I'm hypnotized by your eyes that see right through me. Scared that your hair be the last thing I see before I am blinded by reality. But I know that you're too good for me. Tú no sabes lo que haces, tú no sabes lo que estás haciendo a mí. Estoy hablando otros idiomas que no son familiares para mí. And my body freezes up in place. I'm speechless and I'm lost in time. And it's crazy that you're unaware, that I'm hypnotized by your eyes that see right through me. Scared that your hair be the last thing I see before I am blinded by reality. But I know that you're too good for me. Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy that you're unaware, that I'm hypnotized by your eyes that see right through me. Scared that your hair be the last thing I see before I am blinded by reality. But I know that you're too good for me. Thank you.
So, Matthew,
Mm-hmm.
we met at Black Creek Cafe in Mexico, New York,
Yes.
last February. I remember because no one else was there except for Kate and I and Carl and you and Renee.
Yeah,
And it was snowing, and the cafe was so pretty,
it was.
and no one else came in,
Yeah,
and it was so nice.
it was very
It was like
nice.
finding my people. It was great.
It was.
And there was a big tall table that is from Florida. It's
Oh, I didn't
made
know
out
that
of
part.
cypress wood. It's handmade. And we were all sitting there chit-chatting, drinking lots of cappuccino.
It was.
That was before the root beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
we
how
were
we
there
met.
before the root beer.
Yeah, before the root beer.
All
came.
right.
And then the root beer came, and the rest is history.
Yes, the root beer came, which
been a
kept
slow
us
demise.
coming. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So really, Melanie, the main reason we have you on the show this evening is because we want to talk about your new endeavor, but let's cut right to the chase. Is there going to be root beer
There will always be root
available?
beer.
Okay.
I have a secret stash.
Oh.
I should have brought some tonight.
Oh,
I
yeah.
should have made the run and the root beer run.
The run.
Next time you have the community dinner, we'll bring a case of root beer.
All right.
That'll be our contribution. We're not responsible for anything that happens after the root beer.
Nope. Nope.
No, not.
I like it.
Sprecker's root beer. It's the best.
It is. It is. So when okay, so you've been doing this really cool stuff at Black Creek for a while, and then things started to evolve, and you guys decided you wanted to do something new.
Yeah. Well, we had always wanted to do the nonprofit. That was our
Okay.
goal, was in 3 years to start a community nonprofit. But what happened was curry carrot soup happened. That's what I've been telling people.
Yeah.
Curry carrot soup happened. I started making things for my family, and people would come in, and I just started feeding people for free. And then, somebody said, well, what's that? Well, that's pad thai, or that's one day I made samosas for lunch. And then sooner or later, we just didn't have enough room for that part of it. And I wanted to do cooking classes. I started doing private espresso classes. People would bring in, their little machine. And so I started doing that for fun. And we didn't have room for people to offer like community programs, like for homeless youth or a food pantry for youth. So one of the things that happened was that we were told by a friend of ours who's in the restaurant business, who said that we outgrew the space.
Yeah.
And even though it wasn't a huge, we didn't have lines like McDonald's, but our needs weren't in that space anymore. So I had gone back to the drawing board and remembered about One World Everybody Eats, and decided, well, maybe I'll contact them and see what they have to say. And I talked to the vice president of this nonprofit organization, and it just kind of steamrolled from there. And I felt very happy about closing the Black Creek Cafe,
Yeah.
which was weird. Yeah. So within a few weeks, we were closed to
Right.
focus on just doing this, because this is a completely different business model that a lot of people aren't familiar with.
Right.
So it takes a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of people and a lot of my attention. So there's no way to do both.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really great segue into one of my questions, because I'm familiar enough with that business model that I'm really excited and really intrigued by what you want to be doing. But I know that it's still, for a lot of people, and I think especially in central New York, it's not something that people are seeing around here. So
We'll be the first.
yeah. Yes. So break it down for our
So
listeners.
break it down?
Yeah.
Well, One World Everybody Eats started in 2003, and she started a pay what you can community cafe nonprofit, and it became so popular that she decided this needs to be shared. So she created another organization called One World Everybody Eats, and it serves as a model and a guide and like a network for cafes around the country that want to participate. And they offer guidance and sponsorship and fiscal sponsorship and a large conference in Denver, which I can't wait to go to next year.
Nice.
And so we've been working one-on-one with them. A lot of people know One World through the John Bon Jovi Soul Food Foundation.
Yes.
So they're really familiar with that media coverage. So one of the things I get questioned about is, well, what do you mean? You'll never make any money. But the goal isn't to make money, because the model's so different. The goal is to build community.
Right.
So what I tell people is I kind of explain to them what it would be like to enter a pay what you can community cafe. So what it's like is you walk into the restaurant, and it's all volunteer based, and it's all healthy, local, sustainable food from local farms. And it's all, community volunteers, students, seniors, whoever wants to come in. And you go up and you might see a sign that says with plate sizes with different prices on them. And then underneath, ours would say, if your pockets are heavy, pay more. If your pockets are light, pay a little less. If your pockets are empty, come and join us.
Yep.
So you get a free meal if you volunteer.
Yes.
And then you go through and you get a beautiful plate of healthy food, and you get to specify the sizes. So oftentimes, because it's also about food waste, right?
Right.
So you get to say, well, I only want a small. So you don't get a salad and a cinnamon bun the size of your head. You can actually eat it.
Right.
And then if you volunteer for the hour, you get a special coin that's specifically for you. And you get to help out in any way you want. You can come and help wipe down the tables, or you could come and sing a song, or you could say, I'd love to cook. And then you'd come to a training session that's led by volunteers. The other thing is fundraising is a way for people to volunteer. And that's what it would be like. So there's also, when you walk into one of these cafes, there's these beautiful tables that people placed in the very center. So those are the community tables.
Sure.
So you could sit there with your beautiful chicken Caesar salad and be all by yourself. And within a couple minutes, not be by yourself. Anyone can sit at that table.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
So this is a little off from what you were just talking about, but it's, in my mind anyways, very much connected. So Max and I, a few weeks ago, went to watch a soccer game at an establishment in Syracuse. And they've got all these TVs, and you can go, and they have soccer games on all the time. So we went in there to watch a soccer game. And even though it wasn't a business that was following that model, it had a similar feel to it, because it just had these really long tables with really long benches, and you sit down at the table, and that's all. They're all the same size. They're all these really big long tables and benches. It's not separate chairs, and you sit down on the bench at the table, and eventually other fans start coming in, and they just sit down next to you, and you start having conversations. There's people from that are rooting on for the other team sitting behind you or next to you, and it just has a really cool feel. And it's a little bit different than what you're talking about, but it has very much the same feel. If you can sit down at a table with a bunch of people, it helps create that kind of a community feel, and I feel like you're really looking at it holistically.
Yeah.
And that, I think that feels like a big success to me.
And that's one of the ideas we had. That's called family style. And there's a beautiful hotel in Florida called the Florida Inn. It's one of the oldest hotels in the country. And they do all their meals family style on antique tables. And it's just all laid out on the table. So you have to share and all that. And we did that at the cafe.
Yep.
So if one person came in, it was served family style. I didn't even ask them.
Yeah,
it was
right.
just, and people really loved that. And it's a way of connecting, and it's so important. So we're trying to think of ways we can do that so that, people who might not be quite comfortable with that have like a little out, but to really kind of make that so that everyone's comfortable.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay, so we were talking about this earlier, but I don't think we were talking about it on the air. So it's the name of your business is Serendipity.
It's Serendipity Cafe for All.
Okay, Serendipity Cafe for All.
Yep.
And you have a space on Facebook.
We do have a great space on Facebook.
You do. You do. And it even has... Wait, does it has a video. I watched a video. Is that because you sent me the video? I don't remember. Or was it on Facebook?
It's on Facebook.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, because I thought that's a great way for people to kind of see, well, what does it actually look like?
It is.
These people are crazy.
Yeah.
And, it is a crazy idea for around here.
It is, but it's such a great, it's good
but I have
crazy.
friends who say I'm not surprised.
Yeah, right?
So,
right?
Yeah.
So people should go to Serendipity. Say it one more time.
Serendipity Cafe for
All on Facebook.
And if we're looking for volunteers for a planning committee, board members, anybody with any experience or without experience who just want to help, because the goal is to address food insecurity in Oswego County. And so you could send an email to serendipitycafeforall@gmail.com.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. We're hoping in April to have a planning meeting.
Nice. And you're
potluck.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And you're still working on a location.
Yep, still working on a location.
Okay.
It has to be big enough to offer a full kitchen and also offer space for different community outreach programs.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, that's exciting.
It is exciting. I keep getting new ideas thrown at me all the time, like used furniture,
right?
A food pantry. Can we do this? Can we do that? And the youth bureau is involved, and
awesome.
And OCO Inc. and Camp Hollis have shown interest in doing some programs and potlucks out that way.
Good for you.
Well, it's good for us.
It's good for everyone.
Yeah.
It's good for Oswego County.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And we're
Thank
going to
you.
keep in touch, and then eventually we'll be, I'm sure we'll be recording a show at the new place.
Yeah.
There's a good chance we'll probably be
We're
keeping
planning
in
a
touch with you
concert.
too. Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, we
you
can do
could
that
come
too.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fun.
It'd be fun. Get in
All
lots
right.
of trouble. Root beer.
Root beer. Hooch. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being in Oswego County too.
Yeah, we're trying to stay here.
Yeah, try hard, please. Thank you. You're listening to On the Porch Radio Hour. Tonight, On the Porch Radio Hour would like to thank you, Marky Mark Wahlberg, for all of those 1992 magazine ads that made what is now called one of the greatest apparel revolutions of the century, boxer briefs. Since some folks find regular briefs too restrictive and boxer shorts too loose, boxer briefs have met your middle in the middle. No more fidgeting or awkward adjustments in public. Boxer briefs bring you freedom while you bring your A game. No, we here at Boxer Briefs would like you to bring better than your A game. We'd like you to bring your BB game. Let's listen in on the changing room here at On the Porch Radio Hour while one of our guests makes the move to bring his BB game. I'm switching out of my regular briefs. Oh, thanks, Boxer Briefs. No, thank you, On the Porch guest. It's about time you allowed yourself to be free. With elastic from both sides, your situation is in a constant sandwich of suspended comfort. No more weird looks from passers-by for you, big guy. Welcome to the Form-Fitting Coverage Club. Gentlemen, get yourselves up and move as quickly as those restrictive unders will allow and get into some boxer briefs. Your future children will thank you. You'll want to hug us. Get into boxer briefs and feel us hugging you back. You're still listening to On the Porch Radio Hour. We'll be back in a moment.
This is what's happening in Central New York. The Oswego Music Hall welcomes the Cadleys tonight at 7:30 p.m. and Kaylee Rain on March 19th. The Music Hall also hosts an open mic night on March 18th. And on March 11th, The Hook returns, featuring Terry Burns, Ron Christie, and Stephen Douglas Wolfe. Visit OswegoMusicHall.org for more information. The Oswego Players production of Tuesdays with Maury opens this weekend with 5 performances through March 13th. For more information or to purchase tickets, call 315-343-5138. Lakeside Artisans in Oswego offers a paint night on March 14th at 7 p.m. For more information, call 315-342-8880. The Collette Theater and Conference Center is hosting an evening with Grammy Award-winning songwriter Mark Cohn on Friday, March 18th, as well as upcoming screenings of Heaven is for Real and Creed. To find out about these and other events at the theater or to purchase tickets, visit ColetteTheater.com or call 315-298-0007. The Connect Chamber Music Series presents jazz bassist Larry Grenadier March 9th at 7:30 p.m. in the Sheldon Hall Ballroom at SUNY Oswego. Grenadier will be joined by the Oswego Jazz Project. Call 315-312-2141. The CNY Arts Center is currently in rehearsals for Seussical Jr., which will open on April 1st. Auditions for the next production, A Midsummer Night's Dream, will be held March 17th from 7 to 9:30 p.m. and March 19th from 2 to 5 p.m. The Arts Center also offers a monthly Writers Cafe where writers of all ages can come and share their work in a casual setting. For more information about these, as well as other projects and events at the CNY Arts Center, visit cnyartscenter.com. The Wooden Apple Farmstead is the home of Red Room Sessions, a time for songwriters, musicians, and anyone else who wants to build their musical skill and knowledge to get together. We share songs we are working on, bounce musical ideas off of each other, and we usually have time to just play a little music. This is a supportive environment where all levels of songwriting and musical experience are welcome. The next session is April 24th at 6 p.m. For more information about Red Room Sessions or other events and projects, visit Wooden Apple Farmstead on Facebook or call 315-591-0711.
Speaking of no recordo, Cam Caruso, I heard a little bit of the Espanol in that first song.
Oh yeah, definitely. That song is actually sponsored by Google Translate. I did know the Spanish on my own. I took 3 years of Spanish, but by the time I wrote the song, it was all gone. Just all gone.
It was well delivered.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking Italian now, so hopefully like one of my future songs will have a little bit of Italian in it.
Yeah.
We'll see, and I might actually know what I'm talking about.
Thanks, Google Translate. Or are you using, the Rosetta Stone for the Italian?
I'm taking the Suni Oswego for the Italian.
Oh, dang.
Right now. Yeah.
You're going at it for real.
Yeah.
Attaboy. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. It's also exciting to have you back on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I hope Kyle Osmond feels better by the time he hears this, which is Saturday.
Yep.
Technically today. So hopefully we're going to the casino tonight. So hopefully he'll be better by tonight.
He'd better be. I also want to give a little shout out to you for being able to step in for him on such short notice.
Hey, no problem. I already had my schedule cleared up. I was just telling Renee when she messaged me, it was, can you fill in for Kyle? He's sick. I saw you're going to be on the porch. And I was just like, ha, yeah, sure. I wasn't laughing because Kyle was sick. Ha ha. I was coming because I was driving Kyle to come here. So and he wanted me to hang out with him. And so he wouldn't wasn't sure if he would know anyone here. So be like, yeah, I would drive you. No problem. Oh, he's sick. Okay, well, I plan on coming here anyway, so got nothing better to do. So yeah, absolutely. No, thank you so much for having me again.
Awesome. Yeah, man, it's exciting. So that song that you sang first was a new one.
No, that's an old one.
That's an old one.
That is old, ancient old.
Really?
For me, yeah. That was an original I wrote about 5 years ago now.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Now, so the last time you were on the show, you gifted us with a CD.
Yes, I did.
It's not on there, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No. I recorded an EP a few years back with that song on there, and I don't promote that one as much just because that was a younger me.
Right.
And
yeah, we have a couple that are collecting dust in the safe somewhere.
Exactly.
That don't ever come out. Well, I say we, they're Gina's. I'm not part of those. All the ones that I'm on, we are flying out like hotcakes. Where did they get this guy? Yeah, that's right. And Sammy nominated. Where was I? Oh, so My Mental Paradise is the one that you gave us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
enjoying that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have you got any more that you're working on or that you're ready to record?
Oh gosh, no. The one I played for you last time, I want to record it.
Yeah.
I just won 2 hours at Subcat Studios, compliments to Oswego Music Hall. So I think I might try to take advantage of that and just record a single there.
Yeah.
And just give it away to people.
Good
Share
for
it
you.
with the world, yeah.
My goodness, tonight is Give the World Love Night on the Porch Radio Hour. Thanks, Boxer Briefs. So when you're not recording music and performing and doing all of the wonderful musical things that you're doing, what else are you doing in your life?
Studying for school and Netflix. That's pretty much it.
Good work.
Yeah, I really don't have a life outside of performing.
I don't know. That sounds like a good life. What else are you studying at Oswego State?
Right now I'm studying Well, I'm majoring in music with a concentration in recording, and I'm minoring in audio design and production, and also minoring in business administration.
What?
Yeah, so I took business organization last semester. This semester I'm taking accounting as a management tool.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that pretty much consumes all of my life.
Yeah, no kidding.
Outside of, I'm actually going to go home and do more accounting homework.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's tax season.
Oh, it's tax season. Yeah, which it's awesome, but like it sucks at the same time because my dad's an accountant.
Right.
And so like I have the advantage of being able to talk to him. Not at this time though. I might be able to talk to him 8 o'clock at night on.
Yeah.
Or maybe like I'm not up when he goes to work at 6 in the morning. So the only time I can ask him any accounting questions is after office hours, which is like 8 or 9 o'clock. So I should have planned it better, like done it like in the fall season or even summer class, like so like he could just do the homework for me.
That's
but
right. Yeah.
I guess I have to actually learn the material.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm over it.
Next time you're taking a class like that, you should really take your dad's schedule into account.
Absolutely.
Take it into account. He's full of them tonight, folks. Man, keep him in the chair. All right, so I keep losing my train. They threw me off. Anyway, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you so much.
And I am excited to hear your new recording. But first, I'm even more excited to hear you perform right now.
Sounds good.
Let's get me out of the chair and out of your way. What are you going to do another original for us?
Yeah, I'm going to do another original. This one is on My Mental Paradise. It's called One and Only. It's really depressing. You might like it. You might not. I don't know. We'll find out.
It's one that I like. I think it's a good choice. Thanks, Cam Caruso.
Here we go. With every song I've had someone in my mind, thinking they were the one I'm supposed to find. But now that your songs for everyone's pleasure, bringing me further to someone I could treasure. This only proves how fast I fall, when it's not worth it at all. But knowing only that my heart was deceiving from the start. The logic's never failed me yet. Foolish ways I won't forget. I cannot make the same mistakes, 'cause all that's left is heartbreak. So am I bound to live this life alone? Do I not deserve to call someone my own? Someone out there I'm ready for, the one and only, to walk in through that door. On top of that, society's not on my side, but will things change with the rising tide? From magazines to TV shows, I see the negativity everywhere I go. They say you look like this, you talk like that, but you only exist in the aftermath. And others say what's important's on the inside, yeah. It's gotten me further from the ride. Should I learn how to play along? Forget the feelings in my songs, or would that be a mistake, leading to more heartbreak? So am I bound to live this life alone? Do I not deserve to call someone my own? Someone out there hear me, So then I bound to live this life alone. Do I not deserve to call someone my own? Someone out there hear me, I'm ready for my one and only, to walking through that door. Thank you.
Hey, Cam, I'd like to invite Gina up to play a song with you. Is that cool?
Absolutely, sounds good.
All right. Thanks.
Ready?
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare, flaming locks of auburn hair, with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green.
Your smile is like the breath of spring. Your voice is soft like summer rain. And I cannot compete with you, Jolene.
He talks about you in his sleep. There's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene.
I can easily understand how you can easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me, Jolene. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can.
And you can have your choice of man, but I can never love again. He's the only one for me, Jolene.
I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you and whatever you decide to do, Jolene. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can.
Jolene, Jolene. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sammy-nominated artist, Gina Holsopple.
Okay, I'm starting. I come back to you. You're my resting place. You're my traveling through. I come back to you. My whole world is new. I come back to you. Love is a story we tell. Soaring bird, the deepest well, the darkest night, the brightest day, the moment that you say I come back to you. You're my resting place, you're my traveling through. I come back to you, my whole world is new. I come back to you. Love is a song that we sing, the softest chime, the loudest spring, the frozen brook, a racing stream, the beauty that you bring back to me. You're my resting place, you're my traveling through. I come back to you, my whole world is new. I come back to you. I've seen your soul's light in so many lifetimes, right from our heart's creation. And wherever you go, the stars shine, the moon shadows, perfect illumination to get back to you. You're my resting place, you're my traveling through. I come back to you, my whole world is new. I come back to you, I come back to you. You're my resting place, you're my traveling through. I come back to you, my whole world is new. I come back to you.
It was September 6th, 2003. Kelvin Forrester walked into the elementary school. It was his first day as a student teacher. And although he wasn't learning or really striving to learn how to work with first graders, he agreed that he would take a student teaching job to work with first graders. After all of his years of going to summer camp and working at summer camp, he decided that he wanted to be a teacher, and he really enjoyed working with older kids. He'd coached, he had been a camp counselor, he'd been all sorts of places in bands and working with younger musicians. But first grade, it was first grade, and it couldn't be that bad. And besides, he liked a good challenge, and it would look really good on his resume that he was willing to take this risk and willing to work with first graders, even though that's not what he was going to school to do. By the end of that day, though, he wasn't sure if he ever wanted to step foot in another school again, whether it was for first graders or anybody else. He was pretty sure that after he had his own children, he wouldn't even go to school for their book fairs or their chorus concerts or their parent-teacher conferences. He never wanted to be there. He never wanted to have the smells of school in his nose or the sounds of schools in his ear again. It all started with how it was his job to take the younger, well, I mean, they were all younger, but it was his job to take the first graders that needed more assistance in math. And so he had these 3 first graders at the board, and he had a worksheet, and the worksheet showed a hand holding up so many fingers, and then it showed that number, and then it showed that number of dots, and all you had to do was draw lines to connect the number of dots to the number of fingers to the correlating number that you would write on a sheet of paper. He was only given one sheet, and he decided he wasn't going to dive right in and ask these first graders to share one sheet, so he figured he would take them to the board, And you'd have them do that work on the board, and all they had to do was draw lines to connect the numbers. So he drew his best hands, all holding different numbers up, and he drew all of the numbers as you would write them on paper, and he drew all of the different clumps of dots. And the first young woman he turned to, he said, "All right, what is this number?" She said, 4. And he said, "How many dots are in this square?" And she counted them, and she said, 4. And he said, "Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line from these 4 dots to that number 4. He handed her the chalk, and she just stared. So he pointed at the 4 again, and she said, "That's a 4. And he said, "How many dots are in that square?" And she said, 4. And he said, "All right, now connect them with a line." And again, the blank stare. It was like she couldn't think of the same number at the same time. It was all a 4, and you just have to draw a line. And he knew first graders could draw lines. And that's all he wanted. So he drew a star, and then he drew another star. And then he drew a line between the 2 stars. He said, "That's all you need to do. You just need to match them up." "So what is this?" She said, "A 4. He said, "How many dots are in that square?" She said, 4. And he said, "Yeah." And he gave her a high five. He said, "Now connect them with a line." Nothing. He said, "Okay." And he made sure she still had the chalk, and he said, "What I want you to do is find the number 4 and draw a circle around it. That's where we're going to start. All you have to do is draw a circle around the number 4. So the young woman walked up to the board and put the chalk just to the left side of the number 4, and he felt success boiling inside of him. He knew this was going to happen. And she drew the most brilliant circle to the left of the 4. And never in a million years did Calvin think the words, "How do you miss when you're drawing a circle around something?" would ever come out of his mouth. You don't miss. I mean, sure, drawing a circle around something may be considered more complicated than drawing a line. But how do you miss? So he erased the empty circle. And he said, "Okay, I want you to draw a circle around the number 4. And again, with great concentration, she put that chalk to the left of the number 4 and drew a circle to the left of the number 4. Now, when he was sitting at home talking to a couple of his friends who had decided to surprise him with dinner that evening, he found himself repeating 3 times. 3 times she missed. 3 times she missed drawing a circle around a number. He wanted to cry. Not only did he think he failed, but he thought for sure that going to school to be a teacher was a lost cause. I mean, by the time he actually was a teacher in a classroom, would he have to be drawing circles for them? Would he have to teach them how to circle things? This made no sense to him, but they assured him it was first grade, and that was actually quite cute. But he didn't agree. He didn't agree. So the next day, he decided he would bring his ukulele. And he walked into class, and he had all of these grand ideas. And he wasn't a great ukulele player, but he could play, and he could switch between a couple of chords. And this is important. And when you're singing songs that first graders should like, you only have to switch between a couple of chords. But once again, he was rammed face first into the wall of astonishment when they didn't know "Oh, My Darling Clementine." So there he was, standing in front of a group of first graders, getting ready to teach them how to draw circles around numbers, breaking them in with a good round of "Oh, My Darling Clementine." And they didn't know. So he thought, okay, I'm not going to be able to teach them math. I'm not even going to be able to teach them how to draw a circle around a number, but I'm going to teach them something. So he decided he was going to teach them "Oh, My Darling Clementine." As he did, he found them staring at him as if maybe there was somebody waiting right behind him that he didn't know about, ready to tie a noose around his neck or stab him or something awful because they were so shocked. But he was really into it. He was very animated in telling the story and describing the story of the song, Oh My Darling Clementine, when he realized that this song that he grew up listening to as a kid was about a man that loses his daughter drowning in the ocean. And he apologized profusely. And then there was that one first grader that said, "You don't have to apologize, Mr. Forster. How does the story end?" And he said, "Well, I mean, we already know that the guy's daughter drowned, right?" "Yes." "Well, the last verse here basically describes that he was so sad he jumped in himself." Nothing. Silence. So he decided he would sing them a different song. And he told them the story of how Martin Luther King Jr. had organized the Million Man March, and why he organized the Million Man March, and why there were 3 white folks that sang a song on the steps at this Million Man March. And they understood that a little bit better. So he sang If I Had a Hammer, written by Peter, Paul, and Mary, who he then had to describe who Peter, Paul, and Mary were because they didn't know Puff the Magic Dragon. But he breathed. And they then asked him to sing Puff the Magic Dragon, which he doesn't know. He said, "I can sing it, but I can't play it on the ukulele. So would you rather sing or would you rather hear the ukulele?" They all agreed they wanted to hear the ukulele, so he sang If I Had a Hammer. And he thought he'd get really creative. And at one point in the song, he decided he would mute the strings on his ukulele so it gave that really neat clicking sound with his pick. So it was like chick, 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 chick. And while he's doing that and singing, and most of the kids were really into it, he felt a tap on his arm. Now, he doesn't like to be interrupted, especially while he's trying to sing, and especially while he's trying to sing when he's doing something really creative. But then he thought, oh man, this is a first grader. The kid's probably got to go to the bathroom. So he stops the song and he says, "What's going on, buddy?" And this young man looked up at him and he said, "It's broken." Calvin said, "What do you mean? What's broken? Is everything okay?" "Your strings are broken." So Calvin looked and he thought, well, there's no way I could have broken the strings. I play with a pick I make out of paper. But he looked, and sure enough, all of his strings were there. And he said, "No, see, all the strings are here. They're great." "Well, why are they making that noise?" "They stopped working." So then he had to explain why his guitar, why his ukulele was making that sound, and why he thought it would be fun. And then he just decided he was going to put the ukulele down and they were going to learn how to circle numbers instead. That might be an easier adventure. End of day number 2. And there was a 0 in the W column and a 2 in the L column. He was losing big time. But 3 had always been a good number for him. So he thought one of 2 things is going to happen. The third day is going to be the charm, or bad things always happen in 3s. So when he came into class the next day, there was a student that he hadn't seen before. So he asked the teacher if there was a new student in class, and the teacher said, no, that student's just been sick. And he introduced them, and everything was wonderful, until that student decided that he did not want to help. He did not want to help get ready. He did not want to help clean up after the craft. He did not want to get in line. He did not want to wash his hands. And then Calvin was able to quote this young man as saying, "You can't make me. My dad said so. And if you try, I'll pee my pants." 2 hours. 2 hours into his day. And he could see, like in Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox is holding that Polaroid and he's fading away from the Polaroid. Yeah, he could see any chance of any number, circled or not circled, in his W column was fading rapidly. And he had to do something big. So all he had left was a deck of cards that a good friend had given him in a rainstorm. They were no good for playing because half of them were stuck together and the other half that wasn't stuck together were stuck together. And so when he peeled them apart, they still had parts from other cards stuck to them. He had that deck of cards. A cork, and some fishing line wrapped around a broken pencil in his backpack. So he showed them a card trick and wowed them. And then he showed them how one thing can orbit around another with a cork and a broken pencil. And again, they were wowed. And then he thought, I can do this. I can work with first graders. So when he went up to the teacher at the end of the day and he said, I feel really good about today. To which the teacher commented, good. Because now tomorrow you have to teach them everything you were supposed to teach them today, plus the stuff you are actually going to have to teach them tomorrow. Because you didn't do anything but show them a card trick and how to spin a cork on fishing line from a broken pencil. But the boy didn't pee his pants. No. But I've never heard him make that threat before either. So, the next day, unshaven, no comb was run through his hair, and his tie was backwards. But it was his power tie. It was red, and it matched the ketchup stain on the collar of his shirt that he didn't notice, and he was pretty sure that his toe had just ripped through his sock as he was entering the school door. But when the principal found him in the hallway and asked him how his first 3 days of student teaching had gone, Calvin's response was, Sir, where I come from, men are men, and they're allowed to cry. And sir, if I could just sit on that bench over there for a minute, I'd love to have you join me for a good cry. And to his surprise, the principal said, sure. So Calvin told the principal all about Tonkahogen and what a wonderful place it is, and had a good cry. And when he stood up, he was ready to go to class. And the principal asked him, just as Calvin was starting to walk down the hall, the principal stopped him and Calvin turned around and the principal said, so back in Tonkahogen, what else do you do that you feel really strongly connected to? And the morning announcements were just about to start, and all the kids were filing into their classrooms. And 2 of Calvin's first graders walked by. And he grabbed them by their backpacks and stopped them. And he put his arms around their shoulders. And he got down on one knee and he smiled at them and he looked up at the principal. He had that one last tear hanging from one of his eyelashes. And he gave him a big smile. And he looked at the boys and he said, this is my home. This is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. And there it is. Once again, my friends, you've made it successfully to the end of another episode of On the Porch Radio Hour. And of course, I want to give a shout out to all of our friends that are on Concert Window. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for considering next time getting out from in front of your computer and coming to the farmstead and sitting here live. Except for next week. Because next week, on March 10th, we're going to be recording live from the CNY Arts Center as we interview and hear some delightful numbers from the cast of Seussical Jr. We're really excited about being there on the Cayuga Community College Extension site in Fulton. It's going to be a grand time, so come join us there. I want to thank everybody that came to the farmstead this evening. Thanks for being in-house. Wicked cool stuff. I want to thank the Cutillos for being here from Serendipity Cafe for Everyone. Son of a motherless goat. I want to thank the Cutillos for being here from Serendipity Cafe for All. Yeah, buddy. And I want to thank Cam Caruso for pinch hitting for Marla Hooch and stepping in and knocking it out of the park. Between you and me, you look way better, buddy. I was singing to you the whole time, Nelson. Where am I? Oh, hey, you know what else we have coming up? Nothing on March 17th or March 31st because we won't be recording any shows those days. Because we need you to take a rest. Take a nap. Think about your life. Build up some energy. Because once we come back, we're going to have Kenzie Chapman, Mark Warner, Jesse Niote, Joanne Sherwood, and Heather Plyler from Soul Hooping. So come on, get some rest and come back to the show. There's going to be some other really cool things that are happening that I am not allowed to talk about right now. But I guarantee you it's going to be fantastic. So stay tuned, friends. Thanks for being here. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for coming to our shows. And until we see you again, peace to your journey.
On the Porch is a production of the Wood and Apple Farmstead, with host and writer Matthew Wood. Our musical director is Gina Holsapple. Our stage manager is Ray Monet. Our sound technician is Maxwell Wood. This week's show is recorded live from Wood and Apple Farmstead in Palermo, New York. This week's guests are musician Cam Caruso and from Serendipity Cafe for All, Melanie Cutillo. Find information about past shows, being on the porch, and much more online at ontheporch.weebly.com.
Hey, wait, don't go away. There's more. This is the after show piece. I did not give a special thanks to Al Holsapple for driving our new wheels up from Pennsylvania this very evening. Yeah. So when you see me out on the road in my new van, it's medium blue. That's me. And I'll be smiling from my own car. Have a great night then.